So I'm continuing reading from my new novel, Lee. We left off on page 112, about halfway down, so I'm picking it up on page 112. I had a client for a short time, the hunter guy. He liked to hunt and he liked to fish. The first couple of times he had me, he took me to the woods, then dropped me off at the curb. Said he liked to do it in nature. I didn't care, it wasn't cold out. The next time he took me to his mobile home in this mobile home park. It wasn't no park, but it was a fancy home. It wasn't like Mama's. The men who get me are pretty well off. They're able to pay the price for a pretty girl. His place was fresh painted and new. He had crosses, small ones and bigger ones, on his walls, had them hanging in every room. I knew he was trouble. The more crosses they have, the dirtier they get. It's a math equation, a fact I've seen over and over. Things they're not allowed to do, they're told not to do, they do with me. They're paying so they know they're not going to get caught. You're not going to go telling on them. They know they can go and say they're sorry to their God when they're done with you. They should have been saying their sorries to me for what they done. Anyway, he takes me for a long ride out into the country, and just when I think he's wanting to do it in some far-out place in nature, he turns into where his place is. His home is up super clean, even the kitchen floor. He opens the refrigerator to get his beer. Everything is lined up all neat in there, stacked by size. Even his mirrors are shiny. On his walls are all these fish, stuffed and mounted, all sizes of fish captured in mid-death, open-mouthed, gaping for air. I don't know why it pleased him to look on those things. Then I see this big turtle. I thought it was a sculpture, thick-legged, standing there so proud-looking. "That's a tortoise," he said. "Caught that thing, killed it myself, had it stuffed." Then he asked me, "You ever taste turtle soup? It's delicious." I shake my head no, hoping he doesn't ask me to have some. I'm freaking out with all the crosses and dead animals covering his walls. He pats the couch and says, "Come on and sit over here. Want to watch a movie?" Big leather couch, a sectional, I think they're called. I know this means some kind of porn. I never had a real movie any of them wanted to watch with me in their house or motel rooms, except the videos the scientist guy plays me at his place, but that's different. He likes to teach. "I want you to do what she's doing," he says. So I do what I can. He's watching the movie, hardly looking down. These guys say and do the same things. I don't know why they bother hiring a real girl. I guess they want to have a real body to feel while watching the screen action. I picked up a magazine the other day. It was one of those glossy, thick ones. Vanity Fair is the name on the cover. I read the whole article in one sitting, hiding in the drug mart aisle. The article is so crazy. It's about this guy making life-size, realistic sex dolls. Not those silly blow-up ones you see in some guys' closets. These are custom-made. You can choose the hairstyle, facial expressions, breast shapes, and sizes. There was a picture of his selection, 50 different breast shapes, many nipple versions, clothes, crotches, asses. He was explaining in the article how couples come in together and pick out their perfect fantasy woman. He is a sculptor, he says, all proud. He can create skin that looks real, can even make it feel like the temperature you prefer inside the doll. So creepy, really creepy to think on this. It'd be like fucking dead people, but less human. The guy is already making them by the dozen. People are paying big bucks. I forget how much. I think he said $20,000-$30,000 for one of them. Sex dolls for rich people. It's a weird world I've been dropped into. If this is where things are heading, I'll be out of a job in no time, right? Guess I'll have to find something else to do. Once I get old enough, I can get a real job. I'll find one where I can still have my freedom, set my own hours. I'll be all right. Today I'm enjoying this walk. I like talking to you and telling you all about my winter and spring and now the start of summer. I get to watch the buds come out, then the leaves. I like the way they did their unfurling. The grass is bright green, soft. The sunlight is shining on everything. I mostly walk the back roads these days, away from the people and the stores. It's too hot to walk on the cement there. This road is soft blacktop, broken to big holes over the winter. It leads me into Aurora Shores. It's a community by its own man-made lake, just around the corner from my house. I stumbled on it the day I headed the opposite direction from my usual. It has a long stretch of no houses, quiet, patches of light streaming through the leaf-thrown shade. I miss Snow the smoking guy today. I remember how he used to plant tomato plants, pepper plants, and flowers in front of his place. Found myself starting to plant in front of my place. Never did that before. I got a big pot and 2 plants. I'm watching them grow and grow high and wide. I see tomatoes on them, green still. It's early June. We got a lot of rain and a lot of heat already, so the plants are growing good. I'm excited about them. I'm showing them to the baby, sniffing the leaves. I like the smell of the leaves, so fresh and real. I got a couple of strawberry plants too in a hanging basket. Every day I see a new strawberry. I pick it and wash it and give it to the baby to eat, and I take a bite. He thinks it's funny, makes this little pucker face. They taste like the strawberries I remember as a kid. I'm growing tomatoes and I'm growing strawberries, and I got a pepper plant. The peppers are long, dark, and thin. I hope they're not hot peppers. I won't know until they're big enough to taste. I'm a little bit of a farm girl now. I started being one after No Smoking Guy died. He left me this planting urge and the meditation. I took his sign. I took it the day the rescue squad came. It was in his door. I took it to my bedroom, propped it up on the dresser. I look at it before I go to sleep, and in the morning it's the first thing I see. It reminds me of him. One more good thing I added to my house. No smoking, guys, no smoking sign. I haven't added much more on the inside, but I did add the plants on the outside. The baby's growing. I did end up buying him that little circle he could sit in and toddle around with from the Volunteers of America. I kept seeing it outside. Finally, I figured I should buy it. He likes it, rolls around the kitchen with it, scoots into other rooms. It keeps him safe and lets him roam all at the same time. It's perfect, a circle of protection around him. I sure hope he gets a circle of protection when he's grown up. I hope he doesn't get my looks, not become a pretty boy. I want him to be strong and go incognito so nobody notices him. That's what I'm wishing for my boy. A big lake of quiet showed itself in me after No Smoking Guy died. Calm on the surface, down deep as you can go, calm there too. If I didn't have to make money, I would stay inside this feeling all the time. I figure no smoking guy left it behind for me, or maybe Papa did. He looked so peaceful in his casket, looked like he found peace in the drugs and in the dying. I wish he would have gone to meetings. I still go to meetings, sit with the people, take in what they got. What they say in the rooms is true. It's not for the ones who need it, it's for the ones who want it. It sounds harsh, I know, but it's the truth, the real truth. There's a small cemetery to the left of me as I walk. The sign says the Sea Giles Cemetery. There's benches in there, old headstones all worn down. I guess they were guys buried from back in the Revolutionary War. There's a plaque all telling about them and a private property no trespassing sign. Why do they put benches in there if they don't want you to come and sit a while? It's quiet and cool inside the grove. Another sign says Aurora, established in 1799, cemetery located ahead, measures 100 feet by 112 feet, and then says a bunch of other stuff, ending with a memorial dedicated to the early pioneers from the Jaga Lake area. There were some long ago people. It's good to remember folks that came before. I wonder if anyone's going to remember I was here. That's why I end up talking to you, dear reader, so that you might remember I was here. Even though I didn't do nothing special, I've got a story. Everybody's got a story. I can't imagine being a grown-up. Maybe nobody can when they're my age, but still. With all the places I go, the things I do, what are the chances I'm going to survive a long life? Especially as pretty as I am. Beauty gets killed in this world. Strange thought, isn't it? I got strange thoughts today. It's not that I don't love being here. I love the air and the light and the way it shines through the trees and all the birds flying by. Is anything more perfect than June in Ohio? We don't take June for granted here, not like they do in New Mexico, where it's always sunny. When you don't see the sun for a month or two, you appreciate the light, the warmth of an early summer day. Last night was a full moon, startled me awake with its bright light shining into my eyes. I said out loud, "That's the moon." Cat got startled, made this strange growling sound. That big shiny moon was hovering up there in the dark sky, bathing my bed in her moonlight. I think I'm going to stop here for today. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.